Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the BTS Summer Cup action. We are here with the final days of Phase 3. That's right, this day and then tomorrow, and then that's it. Whoever wins it all gets to go straight to the Summit 9. And first up, we've got Let's Do It, or New Guys, or ex-Kinguin, whatever the hell you want to call them at this point, versus Wind and Rain. I'm Killer Pigeon, joining me in that casting seat. He's back again. He was having some little try-hard dotes playing two heroes at once, but he's returned. It's Lizard. How you doing, Liz?
Doing fine, man. What's up? Like these new guys, though, ex-Kinguin, the Polish boys. I'm gonna call them Polish boys from now on. That's their nickname from me. They're all. I think they're all Polish, right? Every single one of those.
I believe so, because that was like a big hype thing. It was really exciting for a lot of fans. Because I think
it was.
Did they get to Katowice?
Yeah,
they did.
They did made like they made some really insane success with that stack, man. Like they started off, they actually started off playing around the same time I did, like 4 years ago, and they were at the same level, like not any better, but they just broke through so hard. It's very similar with the Greek boys, but Greek boys are kind of nowhere to be found anymore. Like yeah, they're playing in. I mean, they can be found, but they're playing in different stacks. They aren't together any longer. Kind of makes me sad. I really enjoyed this whole thing, like the Polish guys and the Greek guys. It was, yeah, it was always fun to watch.
You just want like a World Cup Dota. What you're after.
At least we still have the Polish guys, though. And let's talk about the bans a little bit. So we have Mirana, Magnus, and CM. Basically, just the bans that the first two bans are alright. Wait, Mirana is a meta ban. Forev plays a sick Mirana too. He's been playing it in the BTS Summer Cup as well. He's been doing really well with it. Magnus, also Wind and Rain Classic. If you guys remember the TI qualifiers and the Magnus plus 3 ent, they kind of brought that in. And then Crystal Maiden is just sick. I talked so much about this hero, I don't want to even mention her any longer.
I think you've worshipped her like enough through the entire tournament.
I mean, this hero is just broken. I just wanted to make everyone understand how broken it is. That's it. On the other hand, we have the Bloodseeker, Silencer, and Winter Wyvern. Winter Wyvern basically a very strong position 4 right now. Can be played as 5. People tend to roll it as dual off though. And the Bloodseeker and Silencer. Bloodseeker just meta, and Silencer, I think new guys, the Polish guys, they played it a bit.
It hasn't had a great. I was gonna say it hasn't, like, Silencer hasn't had a great win rate anyway. So like you must have something very specific in mind, some big sort of ultimate, like a Tide Hunter or an Enigma.
It might be true. Yeah, they might have something in mind. I also think Polish boys, they played the Silencer once or twice. Not certain on this, but I think they did. When we see these openings, though, like the bottom opening from Wind and Rain, it's very classic. So like super meta, Witch Doctor and Phantom Lancer. Just these two heroes. Basically, Witch Doctor enables any core to stay on the lane with his Voodoo Restoration. Witch Doctor is decent versus Lone Druid as well, but nothing really too special to talk about. But overall, his main strength right now, main value is in his healing ability, the sustainability on the lane. On the other hand, we have the Disruptor and Lone Druid. This is not as much meta, but it's definitely comfort picks. Exotic Deer just enjoys playing his Lone Druid, and Disruptor, it's a fine hero. Not really, like he started. People are picking him a little bit more than before, but I would argue that it's not really the strongest meta position 5 right now. Like, he's definitely not on the level of Witch Doctor, but overall it's a decent hero, and if you fit him around your draft properly, it's definitely going to work.
He's definitely been. He was very popular at the start of the year, and like kind of like started to fall off a bit. It's just that fire and forget type hero. Like, it doesn't take long for him to get everything out. There are certain supports in the game, like a Witch Doctor, that want to be in the fight for longer because they got the Voodoo Restoration, because they have the Death Ward, and then there's certain heroes like Disruptor being a perfect example of that, where it's just, you walk in, you drop everything. Sure, it's nice if you can survive longer for the glimpse, but your biggest impact as you go into that kind of mid-late game fights is the Static Storm.
Yeah, Static Storm definitely helps. It's alright versus PL as well. Like if you manage to catch him, it's a decent way of disabling him and stopping him from doppelganging away. The glimpse is always nice to have in your team. Obviously, that spell is just amazing. It's very hard to disengage against the disruptor. Also, Witch Doctor's ultimate is not going to be that easy to cast as long as they have any sort of vision on him. Disruptor's glimpse obviously cancels channeling spells, and it has, I think, one of the biggest ranges in the game. So it's very simple for him to cancel any channeling spells.
It's also Lone Druid as well, like the Bear Roar. There's a lot of annoyance. We've seen how impactful fear-based spells can be through the tournament, especially with Queen of Pain at level 25. Lone Druid is that type of hero that doesn't get as much recognition as the Queen of Pain's talent, just because it's less spammable. But the difference is you can't, like, you got to lock down the Bear and Lone Druid to feel safe.
Yeah, Lone Druid honestly is one of those heroes that's only good in the competitive scene, in my opinion. Like, this hero just does not work in pubs. There's too much chaos, and you're gonna die eventually a few times, and on the back of that, you just lose the game. However, when you're playing competitively, you kind of can anticipate these ganks. People are talking to you. They're setting up their game around you. They ensure that you have a good laning stage so that you can transition into that core with Helm of Dominator early on. And we have a Kunkka. All right.
Interesting. It's not exactly clear. Like, there must be something they have in mind for the Kunkka pick, because it's not exactly countering things right now. You'd think, okay, Phantom Lancer decent, gets rid of the illusions. But at the same time, once they start to tank up, Kunkka can struggle to hold on, I'd say. Mm-hmm. It's a nice space creator, though, right, for the Lone Druid.
Oh, definitely. But, like, as it's picked in the third phase, in the second phase, it kind of opens up their draft. And if you're on Wind and Rain, unless you know for sure which one of these players loves to play Kunkka, you can't really be certain if it's going to be mid or support. So as long as new guys do not pick a straight mid hero, like, I mean, Lone Druid can be mid as well, don't get me wrong. But anyway, when you have this Kunkka, it's kind of like some heroes are denied from you. You have to worry about that aspect of the game as well, because it's very ambiguous, right? You don't know where Kunkka is gonna go. Most likely, it's gonna be a position 4, as it's picked so early. But overall, it closes out some heroes. Some you cannot pick some mids any longer. And Wind and Rain go for a much more straightforward support, and this is definitely the opposite of Kunkka. Once you pick Tusk, you know exactly what's it gonna be, especially when you see Witch Doctor as well. Some would argue that it's a good position 5 as well. Some captains like Puppy, I think, played, and Fly, I believe, as well. They play Tusk 5, but overall, Tusk is in this draft. You can look at the draft and you instantly know that's position 4. And we have a Pango as well.
I was about to say, actually, the thing with Pangolier is quite interesting. Is typically we see Tusk picked as a counter to the Pangolier just because you can screw up the roll Thunder with well-placed shards. Instead, new guys have just sat there, you know what? Fine, you're going to set up some shards? Perfect. I'll have someone to rebound off in the middle of the fight, and then suddenly you're in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, it can go both ways, right? Ice shards, they can make the Pangolier just roll away, or they can cause a lot of trouble for you because he has another wall to just roll away from. So it depends how they play. It's basically skill-based thing, skill-based matchup. It's about the situation and how these players play. You can't really say that Tusk counters him, and you can't really say that Pango benefits from Tusk. You just have to wait and see how the fight pans out, like how the fight goes. Overall, I think Pango is in a pretty good spot right now. He wasn't really great when... Oh, talking about Ench, man. Talking about Ench. Like, guys, just before this game, we were watching some pubs together, and I told him that this hero is coming back. This hero is strong. And there's absolutely no reason for Ench to not be in the meta again. Like, she's...
I was going to say, I want to believe you, but I was watching your stream yesterday. Mr. 2 heroes at once. That Chen game didn't go so well, huh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was playing 2 heroes at the same time. and I still won that lane. I still won the lane, but the game didn't go so well.
So is it kind of like a case of Enchantress is kind of bouncing back in because she can fill a similar role to Chen, but the thing we noticed in quite a few games at the moment is Chen doesn't have the same the level of impact as the game goes on, and it's kind of all in on the early game.
Not exactly. Similar in a way, but not exactly, as this is going to be a position 3 edge. It's going to be offlane. It's not. Chen is usually played as that 4 or 5 that secures you the laning stage, and then perhaps transition into a really greedy position 4 with Aghanims. But Ange, like, she is a lane dominator, and already I can see it. New guys, the only way in these 4 heroes the only way to deal with Ange is with Pango, and it's very gimmicky. Pango needs to go DPS to actually burst her down. The rest of these heroes, Kunkka perhaps with the crits, but as it's most likely position 4 Kunkka, they have 0 ways of dealing with Ange. Lone Druid is not good versus her. Disruptor is abysmal versus her on the lane. So these supports and their cores are not really good already. And it's actually very worrying to see this lineup and then to see Ange picked as, yeah, she straight off just counters most of them. And she transitions very well. And it's a hero that you can lane versus lone 1-on-1 and still be relatively fine with that lane.
Does this, in that sort of scenario, would you say this seems like maybe you stick the Kunkka mid after all? Because for a start, like, I was a bit suspicious when they banned out the Templar Assassin in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like, say, okay, this is a POS 4. But now with that Enchantress appearing, you need something to deal with that. And like you said, Pangolier, that's a lot of pressure on the Pangolier, especially considering, do you really want to go the DPS build? No, you want to get the Blink, the Mech, all these type of things.
Yeah, you don't really want to go for the thing is, Ange is fairly squishy, and if he has at least 2 javelins with 1 swashbuckle, he can almost kill her. So that's the way, and he kinda sort of, he doesn't really counter her. He just gives you a way of dealing with her. It gives you a way of killing her off when she's so low and she starts using her spirits to heal her up. But I don't know if Kunkka is gonna suffice either. I think they need something to deal with this lane, and then maybe put Lone on mid. Perhaps get some. I don't even see the hero Nyx. Perhaps is decent, but then you're rolling Nyx and Lone Druid. You can go Radiance on Nyx too, and it's Lina mid. Yeah, so
that definitely complicates things. I don't feel like you can stick that Kunkka mid now. It's a little bit too risky in the scenario. He can dish damage out. But I think it's that type, it's how much do you want to invest in this mid versus your outer lanes? Your Lone Druid is your win condition, clearly, on new guys right now. And you need your Pangolier to have a decent time as well. So that you can, bridge that gap sort of thing. So I feel like you need a mid that is focused on that mid-game spike, which Kunkka's great at. But you need something that can contest Lina well as well.
I mean, overall, if you lane Lone Druid versus Ange and you just focus yourself on denying and last hitting you without even trying to harass her, that can work. And then you can pick out something that's decent versus Lina on mid. But overall, you have to understand that this lane is gonna be easy for Wind and Rain. So they're gonna have one lane that goes their way, and they pick out Zeus. I think this is horrible. It's Katsu or Zeus, right?
Okay, so is it still horrible in your mind, or is it less horrible now?
I think it's less horrible, yeah. I definitely think Kunkka core is better than Zeus core, as if it so happens that Ritsu and Forev both buy Hood, like this Zeus does absolutely nothing to them, plus the talents that provide you magic resistance, Zeus is not so great, definitely. But in this way, perhaps they can. I mean, it depends. How are they laning with the Zeus? Are they going a dual offlane with Pango? I don't see that working very well either, because Zeus is not going to be able to spam out as much as Witch Doctor is going to be able to restore. He's like, the mana issues are much greater for Zeus than for Witch Doctor right now. So if it's those dual lanes, I don't know, but it just feels to me that new guys have been outdrafted a little bit, at least when it comes to the laning stage. And partly it's because of this opening with the Disruptor, as this Disruptor just does. It's an alright hero, but it gives out too much. It's not strong support. It's not really one of these broken supports that deals so much damage that you can't really deal with them and they shut down some heroes. Disruptor does not shut down any offlane hero. Like it's just a regular support that provides you with an ability to silence people later on and disable them to kill them. So it's gonna be interesting.
It's definitely a conundrum. I feel like the Kunkka shouldn't be too bad in the mid, despite the ex-Kinguin on the other side. He's such a tanky hero. You maybe harass him a little bit, but your kill potential in that lane's not high, especially with the torrent to defend yourself when they snowball in.
Yeah, he's definitely tanky enough to survive. But if he gets I mean, it's Nisha. This guy is insane. I know. I always like watching him play in these games. Like if you remember the last game we casted on his Morphling was just ridiculously well played by him. And this game Kunkka, I doubt it's gonna be any different. So we'll see. It's much harder this game though, as he won't be able to survive with morphing that strength, right? Especially if Lina and Tusk get him. Alright. Let's check these rune fights. Disruptor sneaking in from behind. Nah, he's not gonna go for it.
He'd probably have to give his life in that stage. With a Tusk plus Enchantress, they can easily just smash through him. He's waiting around the mid lane. He'll probably go for the Chorus Snipe by the looks of it.
I wonder if they're gonna allow this to even happen. And Zeus is just mid, by the way, so he's gonna D-ward and roll back top. One really great aspect of Zeus support, just roaming around, lightning bolting things and getting free denies, free observer wards.
It's pretty nice as well, because in this type of lane, you're likely to go for a bottle on the Kunkka, and yes, you can X back to base, but the early levels of X have quite a high cooldown, and in conjunction with TPs, you want those runes, you want rune control.
Very interesting on bottom lane. Forev started with Enchant, and because of this, he's not gonna be able to trade hits as much as he would be able to if he went with Nature's Attendance. And this spell has been nerfed as well, so you can't really just pick up a creep. I mean, you can pick up a creep on level 1, but you can't refresh it. So your creep is kind of there only for a limited amount of time, 50 seconds. It helps you around a bit, but not a whole lot. So maybe this lane is gonna go a bit better for. Oh, let's see.
I shot out. Elisash held in here. They're gonna chase on top of him. Looks like he's actually gonna be the first blood. There's no way he escapes from that.
Right. So instantly that enchant actually that worried me secures them a first blood. So very well played by both of them. You have to be careful when you're playing versus Tusk. You have to be very careful when you're moving around these areas when he can block you out with just one ice shard. So.
That's true. It's kind of interesting. I think it was when we had Gibson the other day, the way she described it. Hold on a second. They're gonna lose the bear. The bear actually might fall here. Snowball in, and it's gonna fall. He tried, but he couldn't get it away.
That hurts. 300 gold going Enchantress's way. That is just too much to just give away like that.
It's feeling a little bit messy in this lane already, and like we said, this is their win condition, right? Inside new guys, they need to get this Lone Druid fat as the game progresses. Kunkka's doing reasonably well. Lone Druid isn't the worry right now. Patsaur is he actually going to get Dove here? Nah, they decide against it. But this Zeus support, like we said, it's a little bit worrying because you can't easily just harass them out of lane, and we're seeing exactly that, as he's the one forced out of lane. Back to base already. Yeah,
but look at it. It's not even that he's only forced. Just click on these heroes and check their regeneration. Ritsu already, he has one more salve and 3 tangos. Hitrak didn't even waste all of his regen. While Patos is forced to ferry himself some more. He's already out and Zeus is also already out. So they have been defeated in that aspect already.
Elisash. Forever's going for this. Against super low himself, he's killed. I shot through a good, and Fear used in return, but Forever will stay alive. The stick plus the heals from the Nature's Attendant is more than enough.
Yeah, you just can't trade hits with him right now, as he has Robe of Magi as well, so he deals even more damage. They had to be a bit more careful there. Oh, Sash going in again, but there's no way. There's no way they kill this Enchantress right now. As long as she has Nature's Attendant off cooldown.
Track got pretty low there, but now Patos just gets turned around on. This is kind of frustrating for the side of new guys. Like, their out lanes are not faring well. The mid is doing reasonably well, mainly because Brow's being forced to use more regen than Nisha, but they are about even on last hit. So it's definitely looking like a win for War in the lane phase this far.
Overall, they're doing fairly well. Honestly, I kind of I kind of expected them to be doing much worse than they have been doing, but these players are just so good that they adapt to any bad situation, even versus this Enchantress. As I said, this Lone Druid, yeah, maybe Elisage died twice, but Lone Druid still has 18 last hits. It's not horrible.
Speaking of them, they just glimpsed for F back. They haven't got the kinetic field though. Like this just feels kind of desperate.
Even with the
got it now.
Field,
it's the Nexus Attendant.
She has sticks. She doesn't die here. It's very hard for them to do this. They have to understand that. But they have to try, because once she's level 4, this lane becomes from hard to impossible. As long as she skills the attendants. Even with Untouchable, actually, on level 2. And look at this huge creep wave that's going her way right now.
A lot of potential gold for him. And it's kind of that awkward scenario. Villain? A little bit deep here. Want to be careful. The Sash does have the kinetic field. Bear comes across. Nice ice shards to protect him. Millen actually going to snowball through towards the bear. This is an interesting choice. He wants the rune, but actually panics in the end. He won't even get it and he'll give his life instead. What was that move?
I'm not certain if he... he snowballed on the bear, right?
Bro?
I think so.
Bro might be in trouble here. So they've drawn back into a boat. Nisha will be able to clean him up. Oh, Fairy Fire. One more hit. And there it is.
Nisha God, man, with the Tidebringer. Right there.
Meanwhile, bot. Shards coming in. Exotic Deer. A little bit of trouble getting low. The snowball through. The kinetic field's down. Nice use of the road to force them away. And they will actually manage to salve up. But it's just, like, how often do you see a Lone Druid pressured this hard in the laner phase?
And you have power threads now as well on the end, so it's gonna be even harder for him. Yeah, this is very hard. Nah, he's fine.
Atos is fine. The swashbuckle hurts a decent amount. Ritz is gonna respect it.
It's a very difficult lane for Lone Druid, especially as when you're playing Lone Druid, you kind of expect him to have a decent laning stage no matter what. That's why you lane him on safe lane. And the worst part is he's unable to go for the Helm of Dominator build. Like, it's impossible this game because you're playing versus Ench. It's just not worth it. Every time you take a creep, she can just enchant it. So going for that Helm of Dominator is not possible, and he's forced to go for Midas. Well, some would argue that Midas is good on Lone Druid, and I agree, it's a decent item, but in my opinion, Helm of Dominator right now is just an item that replaces Midas much better.
Well, we kind of had this discussion the other day. He's like, Midas overall just feels underwhelming right now.
Yeah, it's not a great item in the meta, and Helm of Dominator on Lone Druid, it just provides you with an ability to push as well as farm, and it allows you an ability to fight early on, and yeah, overall, I think it's better.
Meanwhile, on the mid lane, and this is kind of the important thing, right? War having their way in the out lanes, essentially. But the mid lane is definitely going the way of new guys. And this is the most important lane because this is the bridge. The Pangolier can be great in a big team fight in the mid game, but Kunkka delivers that huge spike of damage you need to kill people.
Yeah, definitely. And Nisha has been doing fairly well here. Overall, he forced out Brawl into the woods already. Brawl is just going to come back in here, farm a bit, but he has to be careful because of X combo.
Bo coming in. Actually going for this. Brawl needs to be careful. Meanwhile, you just see Disruptor drop in the bot lanes. They dive under the tower. Millen getting rooted in return. Can they get him? K-Thorpe moving across. Ain't do enough. Another root comes out, and they'll be able to get the kill. Katzel's rotation is actually successful, and he's close to those arcanes at least now.
Forev has to run now as well, as he doesn't have Nature's Attendance, and he should be fine. He's fine, definitely, but a bit of a misplay by Forev there, as he allowed the Lone Druid to come in close and use Savage Roar on him. If he just tried to... Oh,
Nisha? Oh no, he gets found. The Snowball and the Light Striker Array along with the Laguna. He's gone. Oh, he tried it. It almost worked as well.
He's just a tiny little bit over-aggressive on this mid lane. Not a whole lot, just a little bit.
Just a tinsy bit. And now as a result, they're going bot.
Yeah, and this bot is... Oh man, he has no port on Exotic Deer. Lone Druid has no port. Maybe he
won't see this coming. He sees the task, but that's it. He's going to be a little bit defensive. If he comes anywhere near Light Strike,
they're pinging him out. They know where he is. This should be easy with Light Strike. Oh, right.
He's backing up. They are encircling those 4 heroes here. They have to get this kill. So much time wasted.
Good.
You're right, that ward has paid off. Brawl cannot do anything here. So much time they've wasted, though.
Him out.
But it's like now it feels a little bit too late. Can you still go? They might have to. The Invis about to run out.
They have to get something out of this.
They
go, man.
Millen's moving in. Ice Shards through. Exotic did trap perfectly. One tree keeping him in. He cuts the wrong one, and he will fall. Yeah,
after wasting so much time, I think he just commit to it because, I mean, usually they won't commit, but he did not have a TP. So it was very easy for them to just chill around, stick around, and go for it. Even after wasting like 30 seconds trying to find him, you can still go for that because you know that he has no port. So overall, a nice movement by Wind and Rain. Exotic Deer did buy his team some time, but he's definitely the hero that does not want to be dying in this game. So
breathing room that gives across the map is noticeable, though, as now Patos has been left alone to kind of farm the top a little bit, and at the same time that means that Ritsu has to come across the mid because you can't afford to lose that tower.
Yeah, Patos is going for Arcane Boots and Vanguard. Overall, he's gonna have to be that tanky guy that stands in front and fights, I suppose. But there are ways of dealing with him as well, as they do have some magic damage, and they do have pure as well from Impetus. And yep, so
he doesn't really have a choice, though. I mean, who else is gonna be your front line? Lone Druid needs to farm before he can begin doing that. And Kunkka isn't that type of hero. He's more, I'm gonna come out of nowhere, smash you in the face for a huge chunk of damage, and then hopefully my team can just run over you in the rest of the fight.
I mean, the way this guy has been playing on Kunkka, I wouldn't be surprised if he went in first. Like, just come at me, you know? Like, this guy is just so aggressive, and it pays off because he understands his limits very well. Well, last time that he went on mid, it didn't really pay off, but usually it does, in the games that we've watched him play at least.
Usually it's that type of hero. Like, I think the issue there was he'd thrown the bow out, and as soon as you throw the bow out on Kunkka, the enemy team knows they're good to go.
Yeah, definitely. I actually expected him to go back on mid there, and he did try to, but they just responded very well with Tusk and got him.
So the interesting thing is Katsorn now does have 6, so they could maybe look to make plays. Although it's problematic that El Lasash is still only level 4.
Mid.
Kitrak? No, Kitrak will be fine. Brawl TP's in. Nisha did already use that boat, but food to restoration.
And the boat, maybe he just waits.
El Lasash is coming as well, then. Snowball, Nisha jumped on. The Warriors punch him out, and the Ice Shard's down with the Death Ward and the Light Strike array, a lot of damage. And in return, Kitrak might pull Patos. He will get the wrong Funner off. They'll find one, but the Funner goes Raph use as well. The Glimpse back, which means Patos can't actually hit him. Brawl, he's chasing, just cutting out perfectly at the moment. No, he gets hit by the LSA. Brawl will be able to move away quick enough. The Lightning Bolt does a lot of damage, but they got the Swashbuckle in a few seconds. But it's going to be too late, and Brawl makes his escape. A slight miscommunication there cost them the return kill.
Yeah, that was so unfortunate. Patos was trying his best to hit him with the Rolling Thunder. A spell that's fairly easy to hit people with, but as soon as there are items such as Force, or when an unfortunate glimpse happens there, it becomes so much harder. Bottom lane Forab.
Oh, they're going. Glimpse back. They got the Torrent, and they got the boat. They could go for him. We'll hit him with Tidebringer. There's the X. Boat's coming in. Time to smash into his face. Drag him back. No, the miss time. And that means Nature's Attendant might be enough to heal him. The Ice Shard through to try and save him from Millen's good enough, and they will just back away.
It's just not possible. Like, I was saying this is so hard. I should have been saying this is impossible, because this guy has a hood already. And he has level 2 Nature's Attendance, level 3 Untouchable. You do not kill this hero right now. There are absolutely 0 ways for them to kill Enchantress as long as she has hood off cooldown. And Attendance, obviously. So they can throw everything they've got on her. She's still not gonna die. And it's not gonna get any easier either. Well, she is going for...
top. Ritsu. They're going for him. Patos chasing through. The fear doesn't land. Ritsu doesn't use a doppelganger just yet, though. He gets stunned up and stunned once more. The Swashbuckle through in the root. They'll get it. Ritsu. Slight mistake made there. He did have the doppelganger available because he's got 3 points in it.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, slight mistake by him, but also can't take it away from the new guys either. They played that really well. They comboed their spells, and you know what? The Lone Druid played so well with that root. Good job, Lone Druid. You root so well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard thing to pull off. You have to take countless hours of practice before you are a master of rooting.
Mid, Lisash.
Yeah.
Glimpse back.
In trouble? He might be. Yep, they're going to find him. And now Millen's forced to fight with Nietzsche. The boat coming in. The DD on him means that Millen doesn't want to fight. The boat will connect them to Kid Trap. They didn't want to chase that. They want to torrent on with the Lightning Bolt. They'll be able to clean up the kill on Demillion. And now Ritsu, he wants some vengeance. They ping forward. Katsu's got no more mana to work with, but do you really want to be diving the tier 1 at this point? Probably not.
He's just gonna fall back. Nisha with the DD might go for Ench again, but this kill, man. Once she gets level 10 too. We talked about this actually as in the drafting stage. When the Zeus was picked, like as we thought that it's a core, we thought it was a horrible pick because of that, but it's not a core. And both of these cores that we talked about bought Hood. PL has a Hood.
Exotic Deer. Just got found out. The casks. Oh no.
Yeah.
He was trying for an easy kill. It's just it's just a little it's just a little witch doctor. What can he do? He's all alone in the world. Well, apparently, if you hug your bear a little bit too close, the cask will completely obliterate you.
Yeah, it's the difficult thing when you play versus Witch Doctor as lone, definitely. Nisha?
Nisha's in trouble here. Torrent won't connect. He's not got enough left for the boat. He's got a big one, but way too late. The boat's going to come in, but it's a little bit too late there.
That one strike, though, from Tidebringer brought them all to 50%, so there's a little bit of hope for them still, as long as this cook at top, Zeus.
Katzel's gone as well. Maledict, plus the attacks of Brial will bring him down. They seem to be making inherent mistakes here, just going alone all over the place. And, I mean, Wind and Rain, they do have a good pick-off lineup.
The problem is, Wind and Rain, first of all, as you said, they have a good pick-off lineup. The second thing is, their bottom lane is completely inaccessible. They cannot go there. I mean, they can try, but the last time they committed 4 heroes, they did nothing. This time it's not gonna be any easier, as she did get the level 10 and the magic resistance. So they have to play around top, but there's not enough room on top for everyone. So one of them has to go into this like dangerous area like Nisha did around bottom, and sadly for him, he died the last time. And this tier 2 on bottom lane might just fall.
They don't really have any way of contesting it is the problem. It's like I said, you know, there's just too much gold on the Enchantress now. And against this lineup, she uses that. She might not be the highest net worth. She's close to it, but she uses this gold better than anyone else in the game right now because of the hero she contests.
Yeah, very interesting item build from Forever as well. It's going for the Maelstrom, right? So overall, not something that you usually see on Edge, to be honest.
You know, you got the magic resistance, you need the magic damage. And it is definitely a peculiar and different choice here. I guess if you want to speed up your farm, at the same time, Forever, he does love his Maelstroms. Most of the heroes he's been playing at the moment, if it's slightly viable, he'll do it.
Actually, yeah, you're right about that. Mid,
Nisha, he's gone. Snowball just hit by the casters that kept bouncing back towards him, and they just run him down. And Ritsu is starting to get quite scary. And it's very close to that defusal.
Talking about these heroes that are even remotely out of position. And that's Nisha usually. Like, it's not even that he's out of position.
They roar him into the Static Storm. They might have the root as well. And the Thunder God's Wrath's going to be close, but the Voodoo Restoration can't keep him alive. They will glimpse him back in and finish him off. But they committed a lot for that kill. And Forever just pushing on your bot lane with catapults galore.
Exotic Deer with his Lone Druid skills again, man. Just gets that entangle. And he's actually very close to that Radiance too. Not that it's gonna do again much about Enchantress, but it pressures PL and Lina. So,
speaking of that Enchantress, she's still pushing, and while they ping it and finally arrive, you could already see the hesitance from them just all staying away from that lane. Like, they refused to go there. They finally did as a group, but it's just... What is your solution moving forward for this Enchantress? Who's gonna be the one to pay her dues?
It's very hard. Like, it's so difficult. This Kunkka, perhaps, with a lucky crit, and if they catch her in the Static Storm, maybe they can combo her down, but it's very unlikely. She's very difficult to kill. The item build, the Maelstrom, I mean, it kind of helps you push and farm a bit more, but
that's all?
Maybe
that's the ice shots! They find him with Snowball, he's gone! The DD from Brawl ensuring he can't even cast the spell. This is...
They're just being pressured so hard.
It's ridiculous.
All over the map. Like, already 17 minutes in, they're pressured under their own tier 2s. This should not be happening. Not in the current meta. Not when you have a Lone Druid with the Radiance. That Lone Druid.
That's the kind of thing.
Bear.
His Bear might be in a little bit of trouble here, trying to move across to put the fear out. And Yeah, he'll finally get it out, but they glimpse back forever as well, which means he can stand around with the Maledict as well. That bear is definitely going to die.
The bear is dead.
They try to deny it, but they cannot do so.
Wow. Witch Doctor's net worth just doubled with that.
This gold intake, they're just throwing so much gold at Wind and Rain. It's kind of like they're trying to bribe them off. It's like right now, Wind and Rain is the mafia, and New Guys is just that innocent, like, shopkeeper. He keeps paying them every month, and every month they want a little bit more.
Yeah, take my bear, just leave me. Let me live. But one of these times they're gonna not have anything more to give. Feels bad, man.
This is kind of the weird thing, as we said in this mid game. Actually, you look at it, New Guys, they seem to have this big orientation around team fighting in the mid game with the Kunkka pick, with the Pangolier pick. We've seen one Rolling Thunder, and I think we've seen kills from 2 boats, but only one of them was directly from the boat.
Yeah. So, yeah, the state of the game is such that they just have to farm. They have to go a bit later on. They have to search for the late game to make that comeback because they're very far behind already. And in the late game, though, do they have the heroes to deal with Wind and Rains? Like, first and foremost, do you have ways of dealing with PL? Well,
oh, so close! He spotted him at the last second, but he couldn't get the Yules off.
Nisha, though.
Guess what? Nisha's still hanging around. The LSA is going to be there after the Yules. No, he misses time, so the Laguna comes out in the boat as well, which means Nisha will be able to get away. But Brawl, a little bit off the mark there. Sure, there'll be a pause, a question of lag, and then like a disconnect for 5 minutes. Final goes wrap out. They see Forever.
Let's see.
Okay, Nature's Attendant is out. They're going to try for this. They've got the Static Storm Veil. The Kinetic Field's going to go down first, followed by the Static, but it's absolutely fine. Ritsu waiting on the side. The Rolling Thunder and up. They want Forever so badly, but he's still healing. Nature's Attendant finally running out. They've got some more nukes. The X is going to come. There's the Torrent back. Nisha goes for the creep. He'll do it. But he blinks forward aggressively. He'll be fine as Patos did scare away Ritsu.
I mean, that was their whole team, by the way. 5 people taking around 30 seconds to kill Forever.
In fairness, it was like 900 gold swing. It's not bad for that effort, and we said we wanted to see some momentum, like some sort of push, some sort of attempt to kill someone, at least.
Definitely, this is great. This is great. They actually, this is psychologically great for them because they prove it to themselves that they can kill her. You know, even if it takes 5 of them, perhaps now in their mind, guys, let's ignore everyone else and let's ignore Enchantress completely, and after we've killed everyone else, we can focus on her. Like, there's that option. Lisash?
Yeah, he's gone. Long gone. The Maledict plus the Walrus Punch. He kind of knew his card was punched.
Yeah, they're definitely... Wind and Rain, though, they're definitely not going to ignore them. And they still have this map control. These wards are still very deep for them, and you can't just move out like that. I mean, it's a position 5. It's not the biggest of deals. He was on a warding mission. Just one of those poor position 5s going around trying to ward for their team.
Kind of problematic if you don't get the ward down, though. As he was unable to do.
It's a valiant attempt, man.
He'll try again.
That's all.
There we go. Just out of range of the center as well.
Yeah, and they have this Katsur's Lightning Bolt always helping them out, D-ward and ward, so it's actually kind of a decent asset to them. They might go for the Stench again, but this time, Maelstrom.
Are you sure you want to do? I mean, the worst part is the window's closing. She's eventually going to have a BKB, at which point you are more or less reliant on Nisha just hitting for giant crits.
After the BKB is out, it almost becomes impossible. But right now, when we talked about this Maelstrom, yeah, Maelstrom is great. It helps you farm a bit better and push a bit better. But overall, the last time, maybe if she had a Force instead of that Maelstrom, she could have survived even. So the item choice was a bit too greedy. And maybe off of that, they'll be able to kill her. However, Nolan, smoke.
They see him. Snowball through. There's the ice shards and the Walrus Punch for the Maledict and Death Ward as well. Pathos, he's going to pop. No way he gets out. He tries to get the wrong funnel from times not, but the Torrent returns. They'll find the kill on the Kid Track. And Nisha, he goes balls deep, and Forever is going to start hitting on the heart. The boat's going to come in to help him out a little bit. But meanwhile, on the back foot, Elsash gets picked up by Brawl. Now, Brawl has to use the Yules, but they're on top of him. Exotic Deer waiting on this spot. The Shadow Blade out in time, along with another damage. And on the other side of the fight, Nisha getting so low, he's just going to pop here. Or is he? He's on the toggle. Oh, Nisha, he gets it. Beautifully timed to dodge out his death, which seemed inevitable to that Spirit Vessel, but you still lose the fight pretty convincingly. 3 and in return, you only find a Wish Doctor kill.
Yeah, this is definitely not worth it for them overall. But Nisha, man, such plays. Like they, as you were watching the right side of the battle, I was watching him. Enchantress and Tusk were both hitting him. He had Vessel on. Impetus was flying at him one after another, and he still just toggled that armlet perfectly well and survived. Truth be told, he had room on him, so it's kind of easier because of the buff. But still, it was very well played by that Kunkka player.
You still have to time it between the ticks of Spirit Vessel, which was the bigger deal. But, yeah. I mean, regardless of that, Wind and Rain is still going to be happy. The Enchantress doesn't have to die for that. They still managed to get Brawl out thanks to his Shadow Blade and another haste. Like, that's the second haste in this game that has felt kind of paramount in the last 2 fights. It's just... It's kind of getting insane. Runes, man. When they go your way, you notice. And I think... Does he know about the DD?
He should.
Oh,
it's gonna be scouted. So now they have the DD, they have the BKB on Lina. They can just go Rosh, actually, right now. They can decide to go for Rosh.
Oh, look at this, though. Smoke up from new guys. They want this tier 1. And Brawl, well, he just shoot himself in the mid lane. He has got the level 3 Laguna, though.
He has BKB. It's very hard to go on Lina. And here they might run into Kitrak. Lina is just gonna break the smoke.
Oh, they're gonna use their own Thunder. Thunder goes to Wrath. They spot Brawl, but no. They hold their own Thunder. They just glimpse back Brawl. They'll scare him up a little bit, but he moves so damn fast that Shadow Blade plus the Fiery Souls that they can't catch him. That's the big thing, though.
BKB was forced.
He didn't have to. He was in a scenario where they had to commit properly onto him, in which case he had the Yules at any given time.
Yeah. I could see a way of him dying there if Rolling Thunder is the way they initiate on him. They have the Thunder Strike on him.
It's so difficult, though. Like in the daytime?
He has Blink, and he was smoked. So maybe from the blinking from the smoke, it's Rolling Thunder. And then bouncing. Like, these fights, I talked about Rosh with double damage. I think that's the most risky thing they can do right now. Fighting anywhere else, but in the pit, is definitely favorable for them. But around the pit, versus Radiance there, versus Rolling Thunder from Pangolier, and versus Zeus is probably the hardest thing they can do. So overall, I'm happy they haven't committed to that yet, at least.
They want to commit on to Ritsu, but there is a ward spotting them the whole while. And the kind of interesting thing in this game is actually to know is Nisha. So typically, if we see a Blink Dagger picked up this quick, it's sort of about quicker initiation and mobility in fights. Instead, he's kind of using it as if he's 40 minutes into the game and the carries can kill him in 2 hits, right? Where you just push out waves safely.
Sadly, that's the way he has to do it. It's not really what he wants to do, but he just has to.
Brawl just use that DD. He's going Hunnen. They spot him out. Thunder goes Wrath as well. Down half HP. The BKB comes out, moving in the middle of the fight, trying to heal the bed. The roots! They'll catch him up. They force the Yules out already. Nisha has to back up because of the Spirit Vessel. And now the Static Storm goes down. But Ritsu, he only gets clipped. He'll move away in time. And now it's looking problematic. Brawl goes deeper. The DD in the Laguna on Nisha. Nice armlet toggle, but what's it really going to achieve here? He tries to draw it back. The Bear is still chasing. The burns are ticking, but the Voodoo Restoration will get him out. And on the other side of the fight, you will see Patos fall to Forev. And they might turn around the Bear now. It needs to run. Forever's noticed it, and suddenly he wants some bear stew. Can he find it, though, is the question.
The bear survives.
Okay, bear makes it home. No animal abuse today. But once again, it looked like a good fight for them. Yes, you get the BKB off in time on Brawl, but it felt like a little bit of a disjointed fight. But the moment Ritsu did not get caught by that Static Storm, you felt like new guys, they were already considering just running away.
I mean, there's a heart on this PL. It's so difficult to get him down. It's so difficult to kill him. And it's not even only about the PL. It's the fact that this Lina just ran into 5 of you, and you still couldn't get her down. Like, she just ran. She was in the middle of your team, and they couldn't just kill her off. She used that BKB
Cancel.
after that, the Yules.
They know about Cancel. They weren't going, though. They're thinking about it. 2 more hits will do it. It's just going to disappear. And now the boat fruited by a little bit of time. And Ritsu going deep. We're going to chase across here. Elsash protected by the Crimson Guard. And the X comes out, but they glimpse him as well. They can't seem to decide what they want to do to Ritsu just yet. They'll bring him back finally. Patos has used the wrong fun. The Snowball's a good save. Trying to catch on to him in return. They might find the Tusk here. Nice one goes right through. A lot of damage on the Brawl. Is going to get him low, but he should be able to move away again. The X on the Miller means they should be able to clean him up in return. They've already lost Exotic D, and that's their big tanky front line. And Nisha's alone here. The BKB coming out, trying to move forward, but he still falls. And Nisha, the armlet toggles once more. Can he keep doing this? He is getting away with so much. That greedy Tidebringer will eventually catch up with him, but not before they bait in Ritsu for a static storm. But he's so tanky on that side of fight. Millen will finally fall, but you've thrown everything at this point. Ritsu is still alive. He's tanky as all hell. Just retreat. Just give up. Accept a good win. Don't try and make it a team wipe.
Like, a great performance from you guys, from Polish boys. Honestly, Bear died super alone just from the ancient PL, but overall, their whole team fight, they played it really well. The crits from Kunka are definitely the turning point in their team fight.
I had to give him credit
so
there.
much. Yeah, and Patos does a lot definitely with his build. Like, he has some damage in that Maelstrom now as well, so they're assessing the problem. They understand that they are lacking damage, and they're trying to fix that. However, at the same time, Ritsu, he's tanky as hell right now, but at the same time, he doesn't do too much in these fights. He creates a lot of chaos for his team. He forces out spells on himself, and that's it. But he does some damage, but after he gets that nullifier, it's gonna be a game changer completely. If he decides to go for that, he needs some more damage. Once he gets another damage item, it's just gonna be a completely different story, in my opinion, because they will then not only have to deal with the Enchant Lina, but with the tanky PL that also deals a lot of damage. So.
Oh, I agree. It's like, at the moment, you can ignore him. You can kind of force a fight and kill everyone else. But the nullifier, suddenly he's a crucial element that you have to eliminate for many of these heroes.
He might go for the butterfly. He's been changing those items. But as long as it's an item that provides him with more damage, it's fine. So we'll have to see how these team fights pan out. Overall, Polish boys are still hanging on, but it's gonna get harder and harder. Enchantress with her Mjolnir build, it's alright. The problem with it is she never has mana. Like, she completely blows her impetuses in the middle of the fight, and after that she's fairly useless. So they have these two heroes, at least in the last fight, they had these two heroes that weren't really dealing a ton of damage during that fight, and that's why Polish boys were able to take it.
I kind of respect it though. Like, you pick up that Mjolnir and you machine gun so fast, you can eliminate someone before the boat buff even affects them. So it's kind of like they're just using Forev to fold it into a 4 versus 5, and then they just run them over. Which they've got the heroes.
Overall, the item is alright. The mana issues are still the problem a bit later on, but the mana issues are not a problem if you get critted anyway and die from Nisha. So better deal that damage as soon as possible.
Speaking of Nisha, they just smoked up as 4. They're looking for him right now. He's already suspicious. They might walk into Exotic Deer though. Millen's moving forward. The smoke breaks. He sees him. Here comes out, Brawl. Actually going to take the bear instead, but maybe not. They want Exotic Deer. Can they get it Light Striker rate? Oh, yes, he gets it just in time. Exotic Deer cannot make his escape. He's going to be trapped up here. Brawl hesitated for a second, but he adjusted, fixed his aim, and they blow up the bear.
I think actually...
Atos? He's just been forced to use the wrong fund. It will TP out, but... I mean, it's not the biggest cooldown, but it's an objective defense type one, right? So now they could go to the race pit. Without on cooldown, they'll feel comfortable.
They should be able to go, definitely. There's nothing stopping them. Lone Druid is dead. There are no ways for new guys to scout it, so they can just go into the pit. Maybe they can use Zeus ulti, but it won't help them. Yeah, there, Zeus ulti goes out, but it won't help them because the Strosh is way too low already, so they can't react to it.
It's more like, okay, are they ganking us right now more than anything else? It's one of those scouting ults that you know where they probably are, but on the off chance that they're out of the pit.
No, it's good. I completely understand this ulti. It's alright, especially as he's hiding on the bottom lane. He's trying to pressure this wave, so he creates some space for his team, and using that ulti just allows him to see if they are in the rush or if they are around trying to get him. Overall though, when Lone Druid died on top, I actually think yeah, he didn't have to die, but overall I would argue that it's better for new guys that the Lone Druid died than if the Kunkka died, because this Kunkka needs it, like, they need to get this Daedalus on him as soon as possible, or whatever he's building. I think it's Daedalus. So once they get that, they'll actually have a way of defending high ground. With that, they'll be able to do that. This Lone Druid, he's going for Axe. He has AC already. So once he gets that Axe, they'll be able to just rat with that bear as well. That's great. But they need to get there. And this Kunkka is gonna carry them there. So in that aspect, I kind of feel it's alright.
He needs to be careful, though, because they might look to pick up another Yules just to deal with him when he exits out like that. I mean, his big concern is if he walks into Brawl, there's a lot of trouble. And to hit on that, actually, right now, Brawl, we'll have to pause for that. Because in the mid lane, Millen going to get caught here. The boat's going to come and the Static Storm is going to fall. But Forever in return, trying for this kill on Nisha, doing a lot of damage to Yules to slow him down, though. Means he won't be able to get it in return. The root coming out of the bear, trying to get the kill on the Kid track. Nisha tries to jump on Aritsu just to scare him off a little bit. They can't find anything, and Brawl is still hunting. He might walk into Patos. Patos just used the swashbuckle, but he'll blink away just in time. They think there's a ward there as a result of that.
So overall, they do get Milan, and no one really dies, so it's a good pick-off for them. It's a quick one, and in a very difficult place.
I like this idea if no one really dies. It's like, you know, they're dead inside because they're going to spend like the next 20 minutes on the high ground, but no one really dies.
No one really dies, but yeah, you understand me. You
Forever? Nope, too fast. This little deer is not to be hunted. And actually, instead, they might hunt on the Cactus here. Jumping in, they force out the boat already. Nice doppelganger away. Ritsu drawn back at the wrong time again by Nisha. Oh, this has got to be slightly infuriating. We've said that 2 or 3 times now, where it's just like a millisecond off because he's trying to maximize the opportunity so it doesn't get dodged out. And it doesn't sound like much, but it's like when it happens repetitively, the psychological kind of dent in your confidence starts to appear.
I mean, yeah, what do you think? Like, what's better, critting people for their full HP? Does it alleviate that pain?
I mean, inspires you for works. Sadly, didn't get the crits. I mean, we got to find out if Forever is still a god that cannot be killed. Is he immortal? We'll find out soon at this rate.
He died once. He died once, actually.
Yeah, they threw the whole team on him.
Two times.
Yeah, once in the laner phase, I believe it was, and then yeah. But look at this smoke.
Once when 5 people went for him. To get him.
I like this from new guys. Your backs are against the walls. You should be stuck in your base. Wind and Rain shouldn't know this. And Brawl, they'll run straight into him. The Static Storm goes down and jumping straight with the Roll of Thunder. The Torrent as well is going to fall. That's 1 life gone. Can they get another, though? The boat's going to come in right now. They force Ritsu to respond. Boat, hopefully time to force the Yules out, and the Roar coming out, but Ritsu dodges out the doppelganger move forward. On the Nisha in a little bit of trouble. The Ice Shards holding him in. The Kinetic Field to try and stop the chase, but it's too late. The Laguna, everything thrown on him. They'll get that kill, and it's the most crucial one, because now they'll probably feel emboldened to still go up onto the high ground here.
Oh, definitely. This should be an easy side for them. Well, not super
easy.
Four of them are alive.
He hasn't got it, though. He bought out that Daedalus.
You lost your main way of dealing with that high ground push. You still have Zeus spamming you out, and the swashbuckle.
Atos needs to be careful. Swashbuckle coming through. Ritsu down to half HP already. The bear getting low in return. They'll be able to find it now. The snowball.
He does have resummon. So they'll have another bear. Man, this Crimson is doing so much work on this tower.
Brow's getting low. Looking for Ev. He's like, I don't care. I hit just as hard as he does. Gonna stand here. Ritsu's gonna go back in with that heart. Pretty tanky. Elisash, he oversteps the mark, comes a little bit too close to the sun and gets burnt for it. And the Roar way too late. The buyback coming out from the Disrupt in the meantime. The bear getting low again. This is the second summon. This could be problematic. Patos has got the Roar of Thunder. He wants to try and save it, but you might be forced to use it if you want to protect the bear. It's gonna stay alive. 20 HP.
Nope, dead.
Oh no, they got it.
Nice shot.
Oh no, Millen, he'll give his life for this, but to get rid of the bear, yes, he's dead for 80 seconds, but that bear is gone just as long, and that's just as crucial right now. He did at least pick the Radiance up off his bear before it died.
Yeah, it was a great play by Exotic Deer, switching those items to himself, so he has the AC and the Radiance. He can continue farming or whatever, like he can even help out in these defenses, but overall, good stand from new boys, honestly. They defended new boys, Polish boys.
No, they start off as new boys and they become new guys and then new men. Okay, it's a journey.
New men, yeah.
So if they make it to the finals, I want to see them called new. So they should be new boys now. Then they should be new guys. If they make it to summit, they should be new men.
New Polish men.
Static Storm coming out the boat as well. Ritsu trapped in here, but he's so damn tanky. And now Elisashi may be a little bit too close here this point, but now the Roll of Thunder coming to Patos. Cuts the back line. They stun up Kid Track straight away, and it looks like he might fall here, getting low on HP. They'll drop him first, and all of a sudden, Wind and Rain do not want to fight as they're still without their task. The ex-Kinguin on the Forever. They're waiting to drag him back here, but the 4-staff up means he'll be safe.
Yeah, I mean, they lose their Witch Doctor there, and that's, I mean, they can sack their losses. It's all right. They haven't lost a lot, just position 5. But overall, you can't mess around new guys anymore, right? You can't play around. You're not invincible. They have got some items now. They have that AC. Zeus is hitting harder with that Atulance. There are 2 crits, 1 small crit and a Daedalus on Kunkka, so you can't really neglect his damage output either.
I just feel at this point, like, we're back and forth with you new guys and new boys. It's like you might as well just cue the Mulan music. Just Kunka's there with his big Daedalus swinging it around saying, I'm going to make men out of you. But one thing we haven't talked about, I feel, is there's still a tier 1 sitting in the mid at 37 minutes into the game.
Top lane Patos.
Yeah, we might have to pause on that for a second. Patos, he's gone. Just gets absolutely deleted straight away. But it's just... the bear is pushing, but this is just brutal right now because, like, to go back to that tier 1, it is so important that it's there because it limits the movements that new guys can make through the center of the map.
Yeah, I suspect it's gonna fall fairly soon as the bear does have Aghanims, so it's gonna be very easy for him to wrap around and backdoor it. If he wants to, he can do it at any time. But as you said, it opens up the map so well for Wind and Rain. That tier 1 on mid, maybe it isn't as important right now because they have these blinks. So if a Roche fight occurs, they can port to the shrine and blink around there. But overall, the tier 1 is just the most important tower when it comes to map control. The tier 1 on mid.
Brawl? Oh no, this is the perfect person with the Yules. He can catch Nisha. Blinks past him though. We'll be able to get back. Quick thinking from Nisha there. It's like the solution is to go deeper, not home. I mean, in fairness, it's kind of smart there because if you start running back before you X yourself back, they're just going to chase that way anyway.
Yeah, pretty well played by him. Oh, the courier bear was trying to snatch that one unsuccessfully though, sadly for him.
Well, actually, Elder Sash is still pretty deep. Is he going to go for the chorus snipe himself? He needs to be careful.
Warding, yeah, he was just warding. I doubt that he's going for it.
It's way too late now anyway. He just needs to be careful because he knows Brawl was close by.
Yeah, I'm not even certain what exactly he's doing here. Maybe he's gonna try to creep skip bottom or mid. I really don't know. Like, there's no reason for him to hang around any longer. Perhaps wait the courier to go to the secret shop, as he knows the invulnerability was used, the shield was used, so he can snatch that courier if it so happens that it goes to the secret shop. But yeah,
I think he's just in that state now where it's like you might as well wait here until you're needed somewhere. Oh, they got the bear this time. They might. Light Strike Array comes out the Yules, which means he's going to charge the TP out. This is bold there. I'm afraid not. Laguna does clean him up. I don't want to actually have a count on how many bears have died this game. It just feels like Exotic Deer hasn't had his value out this bear because it spent half the time dead.
He just gave so much gold to Wind and Rain, actually. Like, this bear died, I don't know. Let's call it... What do you think? Around 8 times?
It's been quite a few, like most definitely.
Is it too much? Is it too much? 8 times? I think it's 8 times. Around 8 times. So yeah, he's given a lot of gold.
I'm pretty sure the family lot is just getting a little bit full out now, right? Like, it's just got all these little kind of tombstones there.
Brawl is hunting Patos.
He's going to find Patos. Yeah. Oh, Patos moves out boldly here, but he's also going to come out and return. He may have made a fatal error here. The stun's going to connect, and he will fall.
He
thought he could split push. Elsash? Nah, he'll get out. They're not close enough. Well, at least it's not that bear dying again, right?
Yeah, now it's a cat. It's a little cat that dies. It's a cat, right? Pango.
A pangolier is like this.
Oh yeah, pangolier. Never mind.
What is it called? I can't remember what the name is.
It has that set.
It's not an armadillo. It's something else. Like
yeah, but God damn it! It does have that set, right? The Puss in Boots set. Like,
yeah, it's kind of like that. Like you're just thinking the whole character because he's got that kind of like, it's that type of voice and kind of linguistic span.
Yeah, I wonder why they just didn't. Oh, whatever. Yeah, it's a cat that trolls. Good job, my brain.
Yeah, it's like you could kind of imagine. Like, it's very Zora-like as well. You can kind of imagine Antonio Banderas playing a part of Pangolier in a live-action movie. But hooks of the game, the Roche does get picked up, and once again, it's on Brawl, and Brawl just hits like a truck right now. And what is going on?
Is the game lagging for you?
Yeah,
well?
I got that. It's okay now, though. It's calm down. Elsash.
Yeah, he can blame the lag.
That's what it was, okay? They got DDoS, and then there was hacks. They teleport across, and my God, Brawl almost got one hit there.
Yeah, you have to be careful, man. These Kunkas, the Tidebringers, they don't care about your Shivas. They don't care about your armor.
People underestimate that level 20 talent, rather, this 25 strength. It's not as ridiculous anymore because you don't get the 25 follow-up of 50% extra cleave.
I mean, you have to still be careful, though. You have to be
absolutely.
careful. And that Lina, she's fairly squishy. This Enchantress, 1800 HP. It's not a whole lot. Like, she can... Oh, yeah, and the travels now, so...
She's ready to rat. I feel like right now they're almost...
She's going for Patos.
Is she though? The root's coming out forever.
Well, she's alone here, but they can probably connect. Like, the problem about
They
this
need
hero
10
is...
more roots at least.
Yeah, and even if she's alone, she's not truly alone. You know, like...
This bear is alone in a dark, dark world. The Yules comes out as Brawl does TP in. Oh no, he gets the TP back!
Yeah, it's him out, man. Nice.
Oh, the return just in time. Says thank you very much for that, Yules. Well, it's like an early Christmas present for that bear. It's like, thank God for once I didn't have to die for this stupidity.
I mean, it had to happen once, right? It died like 8 times, we said it, so yeah. We're happy that this bear survived once.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize
by PETA or someone.
Did like these bears have some sort of, you know, that kind of like regularly going to a place, you get the stamps on like a card. Like 8 gets you a free cup of coffee. Is it like that? 8 deaths, then you get a free pass back.
You have 1 free pass. Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Oh, he's gonna run into PL on bottom.
Oh no, the pistol as well. Run, bear, run! The diffuser comes out. It's going to be slowed, bashed as well. It's going to be close. Can he make it out? Look, oh, charging in to try and protect him. The static storm thrown down. Brawl will just force him away in return. But Nisha, mistakes made. The Yules, it's just off the mark.
Yeah.
It was a close call, but the Royal Punch coming out. Katsuo needs to be careful. The snowball as well. The Spirit Festival on the boat going to come for all the Yules to buy a little bit of time. The Light Striker Rail will stun him as well. And he is going to fall. And that may just signal for them to go on the high ground. Patos. They forced the buyback already. Patos moving forward, just forcing Ritsu out. But no, Ritsu doesn't care. He's so tanky, he will just stand on the front line and hit these meter racks while Brawl hits it for double that from behind.
These Raxes are gonna fall, man. It's so easy.
They can't defend it right now. Oh, the crit! They get Brawl! They need a retreat now. The kinetic field's there. Brawl can't actually escape. He's got the BKB available, but it's not enough to force him to use it. And Yahoo, they says they go back in Elisash. 3 hits will do it. He tries to smoke, but Ritsu just chases through. And the doppelganger out. Roll of fun to use, trying to hit on it. Patos needs to reach the back line, but takes so much damage from Rev. He has to Guardian Greaves up. He needs to get across right now, but no, he's going to get crit out. Brawl saying, watch your Kunko, watch me. I crit just as hard. They'll move across to the mid. The buybacks get forced out. They need to defend this right now, and they need to do it very quickly because all of the lanes are exposed. They might just keep going. Nisha, nice big crit. They're going to get Ritsu low. Load up the doppelganger coming out in time. The Yules in return. Brawl forced to use the BKB. He will go straight in. The Laguna as well. Nisha with the boat coming in just defensively, but it's not enough. He can't arm the toggle anymore. And for Rev, he stands his ground. The static storm goes down, but he dodges out once more. On the other side of the fight, the Royal Punch controls down Exotic Deer. He needs to move away, but no. They just stun lock him in place. They'll kill him off. Double kill for Brawl. And for Rev is still murdering people. Nisha with the buyback might not be enough. They force the buyback on Millen as he finally falls, but Ritsu, the bashes, plus the damage from the Enchantress. Nisha's going to fall, and it looks like that's going to be a GG gets called. As they can't take any more. Wind and Rangers exhaust everything they have. And you know what? You're right about this goddamn Enchantress. She's a god. She cannot die.
Yeah, it was... Look at her throwing there. Look at her hop. Let's look at that beast. Man, how can you like that hero? I don't know why I'm playing her. She's so...
Is this you all over? I don't know why I'm playing. I like winning games.
That's pretty much it. That's it. I mean, I always liked playing Enchantress for some reason, even when she was on 4. But right now, this hero is just... it's been out of the meta. And it's not... Honestly, you can deal with her if you have a normal support. If you have your Bane, or even perhaps if you have the Witch Doctor on, or Bane, or even a Warlock, like someone that can sustain you on that lane. So that you don't really try to kill her, but you sustain through her. And once she gets that level 6, yeah, then you kind of rotate someone, but at least you haven't been crushed by then. Disruptor, however, he has a damage over time spell that she completely mitigates with her spirits. Like, she just heals up through it. So, yeah, overall, Wind and Rain, they just convincingly won these lanes. I would argue that it was an outdraft, partly because of that Ange pick, maybe a cheese pick that kind of surprised them. But overall, very well played by new guys, boys, man, whatever they are. They didn't give in that fast. They kind of put up a fight, and I really enjoyed the game.
Well, you know, like we said, we saw them. They took a journey. They started off with boys. They became guys. Maybe next game they'll become men. And maybe as a result of that, we'll get a game 3. We'll have to find out, though, guys. Few minutes break, and then we'll be back with game 2 in this best of 3 between New Guys and Win and Reign. Or Let's Do It is actually their official name. It's confusing. Ex-Kinguin, New Guys, or Let's Do It. Just call them all of it. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be back soon.